Ready. Play.
Who would like to start? Yeah, Craig's got his hand up.
Igor, how much of the Australian Open match come into your thinking this afternoon, and how much more of a push did that give you for the way you played today?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it because basically we analyzed it after Australian Open, and we focused more on what I did wrong rather than because we were before 2 weeks of training before tournaments in Middle East. So we talked about this match a lot, but honestly this time it was much smarter to think about how to just play against Linda rather than focusing on my mistakes from that match. But I still my coach kind of watched it because it's like the best material to have a tactics based on. But I wouldn't say it impacted me like in any negative way. I was kind of motivated to just play better and not do the same mistakes, but to improve my game in some aspects.
Were you concerned at the breakdown on the first set?
I mean, obviously it wasn't comfortable. Yeah, I made some mistakes at the beginning. I tried to maybe play to finish the rallies too early, but I knew that if I'm gonna try to stay consistent and make a little bit less mistakes, my chances may come, So for sure it wasn't comfortable, but I was ready to break back.
Chris?
There you go. Well done today.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit more about how you were able to turn it around from 4-2 down? She had 3 break points for the double break, and the switch just flicked. And was it a couple points, or just the fact that you were able to get out of that game? What was going on mentally there?
Well, I wouldn't say. I mean, I had to kind of change some negative thoughts that I had into this thinking that I was, telling you about, just waiting for my chances, and I knew that I'm experienced enough to just hold it together and not really let myself let these negative thoughts win. So I just did that, and I think my game clicked a little bit more. I tried not to make these mistakes from faster rallies that we had, but actually we had a little bit less rallies, longer rallies later. So I wanted to be consistent and use my advantages and the way this court works with my game.
Do you like that opportunity that you've had in these last 2 matches, which is you played very difficult matches very recently against these 2 players, and now 5 weeks later or something like that, you get a shot at it again? Or is it the other feeling of, oh no, them again?
I mean, I both had positive and negative thoughts about it, because on one hand it would be nice to play somebody else, because it's just you may expect having a little bit better draw when you're number 1 seed, but on the other hand, in Australia I don't think I could get any tougher draws, so I kind of stopped expecting anything, and I was just focused on myself. And it was positive as well in terms of the challenge and the way I wanted to improve a little bit, and also show myself that I can play a little bit better than on these courts in Australia.
And you just accept that the negative thoughts in terms of your process. You just accept that you're going to have negative thoughts, and they're natural and they're okay.
I mean, everybody has it, right? So there's no way of fighting them. It's easier to change them to something else.
We'll do Russell then, maybe.
Igor, you won the last 9 games of your first match and the last 10 games of the match today. Can you just give us a sensation of what it feels like when you're playing like that, when you're on a roll like that, what sort of emotions you're experiencing?
I wouldn't say I felt like I'm in a role because I was still, so focused because I know that both of these players can easily, switch the momentum back. Especially Danielle, she's pretty unpredictable, so I was constantly on my toes, and even when I had 5-0 in the second set, I kind of I just imagined that I'm still in the middle of the match, and I had some thoughts about it's going soon I may win, but I shut them down to not think that way and just get back to work because it's not gonna win itself on its own.
Okay, David?
Ika, hi. The announcement came out last week that Breakpoint probably won't be coming back for a third season. I'm curious how you look back on your participation, and what do you think it is about tennis that perhaps makes it more difficult to cover in this format compared to maybe F1 or golf?
Well, honestly, I didn't know about that, so I don't have any answer to that right now, but I was involved only in season 1, and I gotta say that it was kind of a test for me if I'm gonna be comfortable, talking about my life and like opening up so much. But well, I think it was a great idea, but I think we have, many different and complicated stories that it's hard to like describe them in like a couple of episodes, But on the other hand, like in other sports, it's the same case. Honestly, it's hard for me to compare why it didn't work out in tennis, but it did in golf and Formula One. But I can only speak about my perspective. I think the analytics guys were really nice and really cooperative, but at the end, there wasn't much impact we had in terms of the some editing some stuff that we didn't like. So I know I didn't give like much access as much as other players. So I accepted that I may not have the final voice, but there were some stuff that were like misinterpreted, and my appearance in this series kind of caused some hate, towards me and my team. So I just wanted to, live my life peacefully and do my job. So that's why I did it. Why not? It's always nice to look at celebrities.
Diego?
I asked you in 2019 a question about Linda Noskova, because she played for Polish tennis, and you told me that she's the best Polish tennis player. You told me that probably you or any other young Polish player that would probably need at least 10 years on that consistency level. I was wondering if you ever thought in these weeks that you're just 2 titles away from the amount of titles that Radwanska won, and what kind of idea you can have on this?
Well, I knew how much titles she won. So yeah, I mean sometimes it just pops up in the back of my head, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. She played in such a different, times with different opponents, and she has, different game styles. So I'm not, comparing our careers because it just doesn't make any sense, But for sure, I'm always going to be grateful that she was the first one that actually like showed us that it's possible and set the path maybe for other players that are gonna be on WTA, because we don't have much of a system in Poland. So looking at like one person that actually was able to do it, it gives you hope, because it's not like we were kind of raised to be tennis stars or something. We didn't have any help. Basically, we had to figure it out on our own. So for me, having Aga like made me realize that maybe it's possible, even though when I was younger I didn't even think about being here because it was kind of abstract. I mean most of my peers or friends, they didn't make it and they just stopped playing, so I wasn't sure if I'm gonna be different.
And last 2 questions, starting with Aki.
A little bit technical question. When you are hitting the backhand with your two hands, are you feeling that you are using like a mainly right hand, or more like a hitting forehand with your left hand?
Well, it's hard to say, but it's all about the intention, I would say. And sometimes when I want to improve my backhand, I try to tell myself to use more the left hand. So, but still, it's hard for me to say how much I'm using. You know, I mean, I would have to kind of measure it probably in the gym somehow, but it's tough. So I think it's all about, you know, the intention. I have no idea, honestly, but there are ways to kind of you can think that you're going to use one more and then it can help you, but like physically I have no idea how much.
Okay, and then last one from Anita.
To follow up with you, do you think that the Polish tennis community sees Kerber and Wozniacki also a little bit as part of that community since they share the language in the background?
Honestly, I have no idea. I hope they are, because that's the way I see it a little bit. And also, you know, there were, you know, friends, and they spent so much time on tour and they know each other really well. So it's not like it's only language. They actually, you know, spend time together. So but I have no idea how much how fans see it. So I don't know.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All that time on airplanes, you don't want.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.